Hello again, everyone. It's our last talk for the morning session of this year's GibTalks. And I've been trying to get our next speaker to talk at GibTalks now for many years. I've always wanted to hear his story because I think he's an absolute inspiration. He has completed the London Marathon twice. He's an excellent musician, and he sets himself all sorts of challenges, which he always overcomes. Most recently, of course, conquering our own Rock of Gibraltar. But he does all these things with humility and with a huge heart. Please welcome on stage, Eric Rowbottom.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. Today, I'd like to talk about the greatest challenge of my life. A challenge that needed grit, determination, perseverance. It's had more downs than ups, full of pitfalls. And of course, I'm referring to my life as a disabled person. So let me bring you back to where it all started. I was 8 years old, and in fact, in May of this year, it'll be 52 years. And I remember going to school and telling the same story to the young students. And when I said I was 8 years old, 52 years old, I could see this young kid going. And at the end, when I said, any questions? And the same kid just put his hand up and said, yes. I said, are you 60? Fantastic. But yes, 52 years ago, I was actually reborn. So, Kathy, this year, I don't want 60 candles, 52 candles, okay? For the record. I contracted polio when I was 8 years old, and obviously my life changed literally overnight. Eventually, when I actually came out of my coma, I realized that I was paralyzed from the neck down. And that was shocking, to say the least. And it changed everything. The person I was no more, and I had to start all over again. It was tough. It was very difficult, mainly because I didn't have any role models. Christine said earlier that no Google, no internet, no mobile phones. Imagine 52 years ago how things were. So sometimes I feel that I had to reinvent the wheel for my own sake. So let me just fast forward. Obviously, things started improving. I can move. And for the record, people use the word wheelchair bound. I'm not bound to my chair. I do lots of stuff outside my chair. In fact, I don't sleep on my chair. I don't have a bath in my chair, and so on. Just for the record. But let me fast forward you to my years in school, especially in Bayside. I went to Bayside School, the old Bayside School, obviously. And it's no... I've always said that those were the worst days of my life. Literally the worst years of my life. Simply because, for some unknown reason to me, and I still don't understand why, nobody made any adjustments, reasonable or not, to give me the support that I needed. Because somebody, or a group of individuals, thought that the best thing for me was to be treated as a regular kid attending school. And that was very tough for me. I don't know if some of you attended the old Bayside School, but I had to go up and down steps. In fact, I wasn't a wheelchair user just then. I used to wear calipers and sometimes crutches or a walking frame. And my form class was up some 2 flights of steps, and then geography and history was on the other side of the school, up on top of the art department. French was there as well, and then they decided that the school was too small, and they built the voids, which was opposite the playground. And actually, I had to cross the playground for classes in the voids, which were about 4 or 5 steps, very steep steps to get in. I cannot imagine today why anybody just said, stop. We need to review this. I understand that was many moons ago, another time, literally another place, and another universe as it was. But some things are still happening today. Young kids are still not being diagnosed. Children and young adults are still not receiving the therapy that they need. Further education. There's very little prospects of further education for people with disabilities. Job prospects. It's still happening. It's difficult, right? So this was what my experience was 50 years ago. But some things are still happening today. So some things never change. So I said that I had to reinvent the wheel, and I had to learn very quickly and become somebody who I wasn't, because that wasn't me. I was, up until that point, I was a standard, regular, normal, I hate the word normal, but you understand, kid that's playground, football, walking here, there, and so on. So I became an alien to myself and possibly to my family and my friends, the little friends that I had, because my life was not outside in the patio or outside in the playground. My life was a little bit more complicated than that. Let me push forward, because if I go through all the nitty-gritty, I think you'll all be sitting here till tomorrow or possibly till next week. Let me ask you one question, because I always do this in my talks, especially when I go to school. And please respond truthfully, honestly. What's the first thing that you realize when you see me? The first thing that you notice when you see me? Somebody? My wheelchair. Exactly, my wheelchair. And that's the common answer I get, my wheelchair. I realized that very early on, that people were actually focusing on my chair. And then it struck me that if people are focusing on my chair, they're focusing on my disability. And that was not good for me, and it's not good for anybody else. I know, I understand, and we're all human and we all do it. We all make assumptions, or we see people down the street or wherever, and we put in our minds, we've got all these boxes, and we put these people by the looks, their gender, the color of their skin, their religious, the faith, whatever. But we do that, and we put these people in boxes, and we make assumptions of who we think that those people are. Unfortunately, there's another box that's probably entitled disabled or disability, and I'm put together with all other disabled people in that box. I've always thought that when people see me, first off, I'm not handsome, I'm bald, and I'm disabled. I wonder what kind of box they have in their minds, so to be honest. It's a bit scary to think. But people make assumptions. Everybody has made assumptions. Every single individual has made assumptions, right? And that does not describe me, because you don't know me. Nobody does until you get to know me. And that's very scary. It's really, really scary, because that assumption, that stigma back there, doesn't describe who you are. I mean, for many, many years, the word handicap was used as a standard description of persons like myself. But actually, handicap comes from the Victorian time, where people who had a disability would sit in a corner with hand in cap, begging for money. That's where I believe that the word handicap comes from. It doesn't describe me at all. I've always said that I have one disability, and a very young student in one of the schools told me, "Your legs don't work." When I asked, "What do you think my disability is?" He said, "Your legs don't work." I thought it was fantastic. That's my disability. My legs don't work. But I have many other abilities, many, many other abilities, like every single one of you. We all have abilities, right? And from a very early age, I had to take a very big decision. I had to decide what I was going to do with my life, because I am not one to sit behind the window watching the world go by. That's not me. Okay, that's not me. So I found a way to include myself into society, because so many years ago, society was not ready for me or for any other disabled persons. In fact, I think people would hide them away behind closed doors, because I didn't see any role models. I knew they were there. I knew there was here, there, but I couldn't see them in the streets. I couldn't see them in public. I couldn't see them talking. I couldn't see them working. I couldn't see them anywhere. So I made a conscious decision to change personally, not to make a big impact in the world. Here, me, I needed to do this for myself. And I did it. Before I go back, I worked. I learned how to drive. I met a very special lady, and the rest is history. I've got children, grandchildren. I'm a musician. I'm a photographer. I am many, many things. And I say in my profile in Instagram, I am many things, but I won't shut up. And I won't shut up. I will never, ever shut up, because people think that everything is nice. Everything say, oh yeah, we got a new school, we got this, we got that. But that's not half the story. I wonder, how do you think that I got up onto this stage now and then go down of this stage later when I finish my talk? I wish teleportation was a thing, but it's not. 2 people have had to carry me up the very steep steps right now. Okay, nobody thought about that. I mean, you're all looking at me. And by the way, I also brought my wheels, the same as Mr. Valvang. I also brought my wheels with me today. But nobody thinks about that. I'm here on a stage in front of you, and I wonder if any of you thought, how did he get up there? And that's part of the problem. Now, going back to the question I asked, and you said, the wheelchair, which is the standard, that's the standard answer, right? People see the white cane, the hearing aid, the chair, the crutches, and so on. But they fail to see the person. And that's what's wrong with society, because I am not a disabled person. I am a person that happens to have a disability. And when we change that, that is massive, massive. Because if you focus on my chair, all you see is problems, issues, this and that and the other. Money. How much is it going to cost? I've got to do a ramp here. Is the toilet available? But if you see Eric, or you see Jonathan, you see Louise, or you see whoever, and then you acknowledge that they've got special needs, different needs, because let me shock you right now. You all have needs right now. You know what your needs are right now? Your chair. I brought mine. Everybody has needs. Every single individual has needs. I do as well. And my needs might be different to you, but all your needs are different to each other as well. Okay, so when you see the person, then you acknowledge their disability, which means that you're acknowledging their needs. Everything will be different. It's not there. We need to turn this pyramid around. And the good thing about this is that change can happen right now. Right now. You can change right now. It doesn't cost a single penny. It doesn't cost time. All it takes is a change of the chip up here. And that's really important. It's a positive thing. You can change right now. You can learn. You make mistakes. I do. You use the wrong... Somebody told me outside that they were a little bit concerned about using the word walk with me. I said, don't worry. I use it all the time. I go for walks with my wife, with my kids, with my grandchildren. So everybody makes mistakes. Everybody stumbles. Okay? My time is running out, and there's a million things I would like to say. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Yes, I dragged myself all the way up mid-steps. I got to the very, very top. And you know what? That was a piece of cake compared to my life. Thank you very much.